An introduction to payment structure under the 2025 SAG-AFTRA Commercials Contract. Hey, are you interested in learning more about the payment structure in the 2025 Commercials Contract? It maintains the simplified payment structure of the previous contract while adding flexibility options where needed most, and is designed to keep pace with an evolving industry. In this video, we'll focus on 4 specific areas in the Commercials Contract related to compensation. 1. The compensation structure. 2. New cable use categories. 3. Class A payments. And 4. Digital media use types. Okay, let's talk about the first topic, compensation structure. The 2025 contract maintains a simplified payment structure with flat fees and per-cycle rates across most media types in 4-week, 13-week, and 1-year use cycles. For example, a national cable commercial is $1,500 for a 4-week cycle, $4,100 for a 13-week cycle, and $13,500 for a 1-year cycle. Under this structure, producers pay once for the time period in which they will use the commercial, instead of calculating unit weights based on complicated tables for cities or subscribers. For advertisers and agencies, flat fee per cycle rates across media types enable clarity and predictability of costs for budgeting. And for performers, the flat fees based on media type keeps compensation predictable, easy to calculate, and requires less manual tracking. So what happens if an advertiser wants to increase the cycle length or upgrade a use category during a cycle? Cycle lengths and use categories can still be upgraded during an active cycle by paying the difference in rates between use categories or cycle lengths. For example, an advertiser can upgrade from a 4-week cycle of Tier 1 local cable to a 4-week cycle of national cable during the cycle by paying the difference of $1,200. Or if an advertiser purchases a wild spot use cycle that excludes New York, LA, and Chicago, and wants to upgrade during the cycle to include New York, LA, and Chicago, they can upgrade to the All Markets use category and pay the difference. Within its simplified framework, the 2025 contract introduces new targeted options for use to support evolving production needs. These include creating a new national cable use category called Single Cable Network, which provides a cost-effective option for advertisers running on select single cable channels. Some exclusions apply. Also, the national cable waiver was codified to provide a second tier to the local cable use category under the contract, and a third tier was added for subscriber counts between 2,000,001 and 3 million, which means there are now 3 subscriber tiers, 1 to 1 million, 1,000,001 to 2 million, and 2,000,001 to 3 million. This provides the greatest flexibility while maintaining a simple and streamlined structure. These updates also better align with how advertisers and agencies plan and buy media today. Okay, now let's look at the next topic, Class A payments. In the 2025 Commercials Contract, Class A payments had no change from the 2022 contract. This means Class A will continue to be paid per use, but the first use is equal to the 2022 session fee, not the 2025 session fee. And for signatory advertisers and agencies, there is still a Class A cap with the maximum compensation for Class A use in a 13-week cycle being $20,000 for scale on-camera principals and $15,000 for scale off-camera principals. By maintaining the Class A fee caps at the 2022 rates, the 2025 contract continues to make costs more predictable and easier to budget, while making it easier for advertisers and agencies to engage union talent for this type of work. As a reminder, SAG-AFTRA set up the Digital Transition Impact Mitigation Fund to offset some of the financial impacts due to the Class A compensation caps, which pertain to a small percentage of performers who earned significant wages from Class A previously. In rare cases where performers would have made more from Class A payments under legacy contracts, they may be eligible for additional payments through the mitigation fund. Okay, continuing with the theme of simplification, let's look at the last topic, digital media use types. With the 2025 Commercials Contract, there are now 4 digital media use types, which we'll talk about individually. 1. Traditional digital. 2. Traditional digital with paid YouTube. 3. Streaming platforms. And 4. Gaming, augmented reality, also known as AR, or virtual worlds, and emerging platforms. Let's begin with traditional digital, which was created within the 2022 contract to consolidate the former internet and new media categories into a single category, including social media, YouTube, as well as brand, retailer, or other third-party websites. This allows advertisers to pay a single-use payment if their commercial runs on Instagram and Facebook. Now the 2025 commercials contract adds a new digital media use type called traditional digital with paid YouTube. This new digital media use type has slightly higher rates to recognize the potential reach difference between traditional digital and traditional digital with paid YouTube. The next digital media use type to cover is streaming platforms. These are platforms that provide much of the same type of content as traditional cable or broadcast TV, but via a streaming platform service. Examples include Hulu, Peacock, Paramount+, Pluto TV, Tubi TV, and others. Use on these platforms requires payment of a higher fee than for other traditional digital media types, with rates per cycle of 4 weeks at $1,300, 13 weeks at $3,000, and 1 year at $10,000. This enables performers to better capitalize on the growing value of streaming platforms while maintaining a lower cost category for advertisers and agencies. And now for the last media use type, gaming, AR or virtual worlds, and emerging platforms, which accounts for the ongoing emergence of new platforms arising in media and advertising. When advertisers pay performer fees to create commercials for use on these platforms and streaming is not included, use fees for gaming, AR or virtual worlds, and emerging platforms may be freely bargained. In terms of payment for digital use, each media type has flat fees per the 4-week, 13-week, and 1-year cycles. When advertisers pay for streaming, all other digital use types, including traditional digital with paid YouTube, and gaming platforms, AR or virtual worlds, and emerging platforms are automatically included. I hope you have a better understanding of the compensation structure, what new cable use categories exist, Class A payments, and how digital media use types work in the 2025 commercials contract. Reach out if you have questions about these terms or anything related to the 2025 commercials contract.